And so, what I started doing in my life was I started reading books of other people's experiences. I was going on walks in nature. I started meditating. I started a yoga class. And so I just started reaching out there, gathering information, finding whatever I could to just start exploring the mind and my consciousness. And really, meditation is the core thing to start looking deeper within and exploring your mind and your consciousness more, in order to come to that basic understanding that there is more to us than we realize, that our consciousness is not something that is just on or off. We're conscious or we're unconscious, we're awake or we're asleep, but our consciousness is very multifaceted, very multi-layered, very complex and convoluted. And meditation is one way to start exploring the mind and consciousness more, by focusing inwards and getting more acquainted with what is really going on within you. Taking your focus of your consciousness from looking out there in the outer world all the time to looking within and seeing what's really going on within yourself, and what is going on that is motivating you to do certain things and live your life in a certain way and treat people a certain way, etc. Just coming to a greater awareness of your being is kind of the spirituality 101, of just becoming more aware of what is going on inside. And so that is one component, and one can have very powerful spiritual awakenings just if all you did was just add meditation to your life. Then that is one potential opening for spiritual awakening that can go, who knows where that might lead you. But there is so much more that one can do. And so yoga, finding some sort of a physical discipline that connects you with your physical body. And what is special about yoga, as opposed to running or swimming or weightlifting or something, is that yogic postures help to awaken spiritual energies within you in such a way that many other physical exercises and activities don't offer. Yoga is not just a physical exercise. It is very much it is also a mental exercise, but it is also very much a spiritual exercise. And the way that you contort your body in the course of yoga awakens spiritual energies within you that are, because our mind and our consciousness and our body are all connected. And yoga helps to awaken spiritual energies that are stored within the physical body. And that is one very effective way to bring about spiritual awakening, is to start connecting with inner spiritual energies, which to some extent are housed in the body. Our body is part of our spiritual being. And so the physical body, in my view, must absolutely be an integral aspect of the spiritual path. It's not just a non-physical, metaphysical exercise, but it is about bringing those spiritual energies and that awakening experience into the physical body as part of the process. So there are so many other things that one can do. A very powerful way of pushing oneself is fasting. So I've done fasts for as long as 7 days. And there are different ways of fasting. You can do a water fast, you can do the master cleanse. My preferred fast is drinking a assortment of different things from water, herbal teas, fruit juices and vegetable juices, because I feel that that helps to cleanse the system more than just drinking water, and it also makes the fasting experience much more enjoyable and a little bit easier than just a straight water fast, to have something tasty to look forward to drinking throughout the day. But you might consider doing a fast for a day or 2 or 3 or 5 or 7. Fasting is perfectly safe, and you don't have to stick to a specific, I'm definitely going to do it for 3 days or whatever. You can just give it a try and see how it goes, and face that unknown that comes up as a result of not eating something that is so integral to our daily routine. You take that away, and that can bring up a lot of feelings, a lot of fears and other emotions, and this is one essential element of the spiritual awakening process, is getting in touch with subconscious buried fears and other emotions within the subconscious of our being, because spiritual awakening is to a great extent about awakening the subconscious, because we have come to the state of being in which so much of our self, of our consciousness, is subconscious, is unconscious. We have our conscious mind, but there is much buried deep within ourselves that is not apparent to us, and yet which is driving our behavior and our activity and causing people to do crazy, unwise, terrible, unkind, horrible things, because they are not really conscious. People have a conscious mind, but to a great extent, much of humanity is asleep, not truly in their full potential and power, and so the subconscious takes people over and causes people to do things as a result, basically, of seeking to avoid or squash unresolved subconscious fears and other emotions, anger, etc. And so people do things as a result of not being truly present, not being truly conscious within themselves, and so the subconscious mind is ruling people's lives to a great extent. And so part of the spiritual awakening process is coming to greater awareness of the subconscious, bringing the subconscious more into the conscious mind, and thus becoming more awake, more aware, so that you are living your life and making your choices and acting from a place of greater awareness and consciousness in a very real way of yourself, of your true being. And so fasting is just one way to get in touch with some deeper parts of oneself in the process of pushing yourself beyond your limits to some extent, and seeing what comes up and getting in touch with some deeper elements of one's being. And there are of course, many different ways to do this as well, such as spending time alone in the wilderness and pushing yourself physically and mentally with a spiritual intention. And so, feel free to look around for other things that one can do. Sweat lodges, going to hot springs, and pushing yourself, soaking in the super hot pool, and then going to the cold pool and dunking yourself in the cold water and then going back to the hot water again, and things like this. There's all sorts of different things that one can do that start to push you within your being so that you can start accessing deeper parts of oneself. And these can all lead to opening up the doorway for various spiritual experiences to transpire. There is lots of information out there, of course. I recommend reading various other books of other people's spiritual awakening experiences. Dan Millman, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, definitely recommend that one. That was one of my first spiritual books that I read that just kind of, gave an outline of the spiritual path and what can transpire and how one can shift their focus and your purpose in life in a spiritual way, and start peering beneath the what is really going on, looking through the cracks of reality, reading between the words, or whatever analogy you want to put on this, and just start kind of peeling back the layers of the matrix, the paradigm that is supported by the mainstream society of today, and start looking deeper and seeing what else is really going on within you and out there in the world. And then just be open to the universe. What can you show me? What's my true potential, and how can I access it, and what experiences can you provide for me, universe, to bring me to a state of greater awareness and consciousness. And just to keep in mind that, to the best of my knowledge, then this is a universe that seeks to work with us. It is not just a hard, physical, material world, but that there is divine energy imbued in everything. There is a higher consciousness, a God of some sort, who wants to have a relationship with us, wants to assist us, and is listening to us and what we are broadcasting out to the world in terms of our desires and intentions. And so, put it out there to the universe, what you really want to experience, that you want to see beyond, this paradigm that humans are locked into to a great extent, a limited perspective of the world and of reality, and that you want to see something greater, get a taste of the grand scheme of things, and open up to your true inner spiritual potential, your full potential as not just a human being, but a spiritual being, and then see what transpires. And magical things can happen, unexpected things can happen. It could be a simple shift in perspective of your life that puts you on a completely different track, that leads you down a totally different road, and progressively results in a spiritual awakening process of just how you live your life, and leads to expanded awareness and consciousness and various changes in your life. Or it could be, these various mind-blowing, out-of-this-world types of experiences that people can have. And both of these are perfectly valid and extremely beneficial experiences that can transpire for not just you individually, but for the world, because the problem on Earth, to a great extent, is one of untapped potential, living our lives in a state of limited being, and as a result, being unsatisfied, not being genuinely happy, not relating with our physical environment with true consciousness and sensitivity, and thus running our environment into the ground in very destructive ways, and the various things that people do that are obviously imbalanced and unloving, which come about as a result of not truly being awake within themselves, and thus living a life unconscious and asleep. So spiritual awakening is not just a hobby, but it is about the evolution of humanity, one individual at a time, and coming to our true potential of being, so that we can really live our lives from a place of fullness and wholeness, and tap into the tremendous possibilities that are available to us when we decide that we want to experience them and claim our true power and potential and see what we can do with it. So, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Take care.